everybody, this is From the Depths, Noob Campaign, Episode 5. Big day today. We'll be popping some squares as usual, but also we will be introducing not one, but two new ships today. The first one is almost done, and the class of ship I'm calling the Thug class. Still is going to get a real name for its individual ship name, but as far as the ship class is concerned, I'm going to call it the Thug. So this will be the final episode where the starter ships basically are the only ships. And yeah, they've served us ably, and I'm going to keep them around, hopefully forever, because I'm having a bit of an emotional attachment to them. Might just keep them as a group out of play, sort of in the starting fortress area, so if ever it gets attacked, at least I have something there ready to go. Otherwise, they're just museum pieces to show the future generations how we started this whole thing. Again, if I haven't already mentioned it too many times, I will not be doing any shipboarding in this series. I don't like it. I think it wrecks the game. That said, my commitment to only make surface ships in this series might not be practical. No. After the Onyx Guard, assuming I make it that far, of course, I'm starting to think some sort of airborne platform would really be nice. And hopefully by then I'll have enough confidence in my ships that I'll be able to start designing other things as well. Another thing I might do is, if the difficulty of the DWG ships doesn't ramp up that much in the next episode or two, I might go back and just crank that difficulty level up a bit anyway. That's assuming my new ships are as devastating as I hope they are. So that remains an option. Due to the fact that I might be almost nearing incredible 10 subscribers, I worked really hard to get even a second ship ready for this episode, as a big thank you. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure it's going to be hard to get them both into a fight this episode, so that might remain till next, but I promise to take you on a quick tour at least. I don't know if it's crazy or not, but the cram cannon on the gunship itself is more RP than the entire second ship, which is the missile ship. Missile ships, basically, they seem fairly cheap to make, but expensive to operate as far as just keeping those missiles piling out. These ships that will be introduced today are 100% my design. Obviously, they are very influenced by other people's design, especially the first one, which to some extent might be a little Rottweilerish from the Irelan series, but you can be the judge. Engines, however, I do not design myself. I use prefabs made from the Irelan engine platform blueprint that you can get from both Steam or from the forum. I cannot design a better engine than are available. And as far as shakedown to be finished on the new ships, I'd say the first gunship is maybe 95% finished in terms of actual complete shakedown, and the missile ship has a few loose ends still in terms of I need to work on the long-range missiles a little bit, but otherwise I'm pretty happy, and I would say that's probably 90% finished shakedown, so very happy with how things went. In testing, both of them could take a ransack out more times than the ransack would take it out, but it wasn't 100% or anything. The ransack could put up a good fight and would sometimes win it even. And a Wanderlust could give it a pretty good fight for a while, but eventually both ships would tear the Wanderlust apart individually. Oh, finally a fight. Now, this is hardly an elite ship, but it seems to be a step up of sorts. At least we're not getting into a Marauder sort of riverboat, you know, scuttlebutt or whatever the hell it's called kind of crap. Has an okay advanced cannon, I guess, but that's about it. It takes very little to neutralize this. Bye-bye. One thing I really learned in this episode is, especially when you're traveling in sort of narrow areas, but probably any area, it's the smarter thing to do, is be out of play. If you're not, your ships literally just spend the whole time clanging into each other. That is going to be that for this battle. Okay, try to get maybe a little bit better position here. I like starting from range if I can. Let's do this. starter ships really aren't getting seriously challenged right now. We could use a step up in competition quite easily, I think. But it's going to be the other way around, because here is the first glimpse of the Thug, my new gunship. See that? Double crams. You're probably wondering what that little thing sticking up over the gun is. It's a bit of an experiment, and in testing, it actually made a pretty big difference. So its weaponry consists of a double 12-25 cram, I believe, and 54 or whatever autocannon or advanced cannon. The first version is mostly wood, and as I capture more resource bases, I will make versions that carry increasing amounts of metal in it. Without shields that go off when the enemy is not present, and one engine which almost shuts itself down when it's not needed, this thing would guzzle gas. But because it has those two things dealt with, it actually isn't bad on fuel at all. All this I learned from the Irelan video series, whether it's the tutorial or the campaign or just the general video itself. Wealth of information. Which brings me to the main reason I'm doing this series. I know I'm a noob, but so many other noobs, with some exceptions, seem to try and start this game with no knowledge, and I'm gonna just learn by the seat of my pants, which just is a terrible way of doing this game. And a lot of the information on how to play this game better is presented in a really fun way on YouTube. So there's really no excuse in not educating yourself better, and this game will really reward you for it. With some beautiful violence that you inflicted, not inflicted upon you. And here, folks, is the start of the second ship, the missile ship. I don't have a name for it yet either. As you can see here, I sent the starter ship fleet on a southern excursion, which resulted in nothing. There you go, the finished missile ship. So beautiful. And only about 90k in RP. So as quick as possible, we'll get up with the Thug, fleet up, and see what kind of trouble we can get into. Probably not this episode, but for sure soon. Testing, as a combination, they were devastating. But testing always seems a little easier to me than the campaign, so we'll see. Both ships have a couple, I would say, design experiments, which are going to go through the trial of fire and be tested, and I'll let you know how they go. And another eye in the sky can't hurt. We'll build another radar copter and just shift sort of the sight over a bit to the east and get a better view of where we're going. This episode really is a preparation episode to shift area of operations over towards the new resource area, or even I should say the second permanent resource area, which we hope to capture really soon. Capturing it too quickly is not the smartest thing, I find, because when the first time I captured and did my first attempt at a playthrough, I didn't have enough of the squares around it captured, so I was getting attack from all sides as opposed to being able to sort of focus on attack from one area. This time I'll have way more surrounding squares popped, if you will, before I actually try to keep that resource spot. This battle is virtually insignificant. Before I actually try to keep the second permanent resource zone, I want to have almost this entire northern sector cleared out and not have to worry about spawns from that area. Okay, there goes our second radar chopper, so I'm going to basically just move him over to where the other radar chopper is, and then move the first radar chopper just a little bit over to the sort of north and west, or north and east, yeah, west? East, that's right. I was expecting to actually have to deal with a lot more attacks coming towards me this episode, and it strangely didn't work out that way at all, so I had to actually go attack him. Really not a fan of making my ships sort of have to push into the murk, if you will, where radar isn't covering any. But I'm pretty confident that we're not going to be meeting anything too dangerous, so I'm willing to take that risk right now. That will change soon though, and soon I will have radar choppers everywhere, I think. Well, we're running out of time, and the DWG seems to be scared of us, so I'm going to have to show you, taking a little tour of the ships outside of battle. This, of course, is the missile ship. Has no trouble maintaining 22 meters per second. Again, almost entirely made out of wood at this point, and as I get more resource zones captured, I'll make versions that have more and more metal. Fantastically resilient in testing, relying almost entirely on shields, of course, for that protection. And this is the gunship. Twin crams, 54 mil advanced cannon in the front. Otherwise, that's it for weaponry. It has that little experimental shield projector at the top there, which is designed to protect the gun barrel more than anything. In testing, it dramatically increased the time into a fight which the big gun could keep firing without getting damaged, which was a problem before because it wasn't covered by shield when it's sort of going around in its rotation. So next episode, I promise, just beginning to end fights with the new ships, and we'll see how they do. I'm pretty confident, but of course, the real test is battle.